Who's the guy that can be so tough in a movie, scares the heck out of you just when he talks to you, and then flip to the next movie, and he's so funny, every line that he delivers, he's got you laughing hysterical, falling off your seat. Who is it? Joe Pesci. Hey everyone, welcome to another Sit Down with Michael Franzese. Hope everybody is doing well. Today is Mob Movie Monday, and favorite of all my followers, all my subscribers, everybody tuning in. I enjoy doing them, love the comments. So what am I going to do today? A little bit differently. I'm always asked, what are your favorite actors, your favorite mob actors? And I think I did this once before, way back when, a couple of months ago. But today, I got to highlight one in particular, and that is Joe Pesci. Joe Pesci, he's just unbelievable in everything that he does. He's such a brilliant actor. He's so authentic. He could be in comedy. He could be serious. He could be a crazy guy. He could be a calm mobster like he was in The Irishman, Russ Bufalino, a guy that I knew well. Everything that he does is just brilliant. But while we're on that subject, I want to mention a couple of the other great actors and just some of the all-time great memorable scenes with these actors. Armand Assante. In the Gotti, the HBO Gotti movie. I told you, he was so brilliant in that movie. Everything that he did, every scene, he just lit it up. He was just dynamic in every scene. Can't get into one of them. Even the opening scene when he's in prison and he's looking in the mirror and he's talking to himself. The dialogue was amazing. Everything that he did, so authentic. And that's, again, what I love about these actors that are so brilliant in that movie. You believe them. They're so authentic. Anthony Quinn as Neil Delacroce. Some of the lines that he delivered in that film were just chilling. He was amazing. He's Greek, but he was terrific as an Italian. I close my eyes and I see him and I hear the dialogue. He was brilliant. Robert De Niro, of course, in just about everything he does, he's brilliant in. I loved him as Jimmy Conway in Goodfellas. He was really, really brilliant in Godfather 2. Sometimes we kind of overlook his performance there. He was brilliant in Godfather 2. He was brilliant in Jake LaMotta. Brilliant in that film as Jake LaMotta, I should say. He was unbelievable in that movie. So, De Niro is great across the board. Pacino, for me, the best role was when he played Lefty Ruggiero, Lefty Guns, and Donnie Brasco. For those of you who have tuned in, you saw my interview with Joe Pistone. It was a good one. Thank you again for all the comments. Pacino was brilliant as Lefty Ruggiero. The lines, the dialogue, the way he delivered it, everything about him. So authentic. When actors portray, a character so authentically, they kind of take you in. And me knowing the life and being part of that life and seeing how these men acted, the ones that I just talked about, amazing. Another actor, that may not come to mind immediately, but I know you know him, Dominic Lombardozzi. Brilliant actor. Everything he plays in, he does such a great job. He was in The Sopranos, Boardwalk Empire, The Irishman. Everything he does brilliantly. Of course, James Gandolfini in The Sopranos. When I first started watching the series, I didn't appreciate the performance that he gave, but as I got into it more, he was brilliant. Brilliant. Frank Vincent. Brilliant. Just these actors, some of them, again, they just take you in. But let's talk about Pesci. Pesci, like I said, any role that he plays, he's just so good in it. He can be a comedian like in Home Alone. Did you believe him as the thief, the burglar? He was terrific in that movie. He's done so many movies. I don't know if you realize this. Why is he so good in the mob movies? Well, he grew up in New Jersey. That's where he was born. I'm sure he hung around a bunch of guys. If you've seen Frankie Valli's story, you know that he knew Frankie Valli. He knew some of the guys around there. So he was able to pick up on their characteristics, the way they talked, the way they walked, the way they carried themselves. And that's why I think he was so good. What I'm impressed about him is there's so many guys that he acted like. I don't even know if he realizes that. The same character, the way he portrayed so many of the guys on the street. Just brilliant. He was brilliant in Goodfellas. He was brilliant in Casino. He was brilliant in The Irishman. Everything he does is so good. He lights up the screen. When he played Jake LaMotta's brother, I don't know if you ever saw the movie Raging Bull, the Jake LaMotta story. De Niro played Jake LaMotta, but Pesci played his brother. He was in Once Upon a Time in America too, but Raging Bull really caught your attention at Jake LaMotta's brother. Just the way he acted. He wasn't a made guy or anything like that, but he was a tough guy, was on the street. He had mob connections, but the way he played that, I thought he was terrific. He deserved an award as far as I was concerned. I think De Niro won the award. I know Raging Bull was a magnificent movie. I think it won a couple of awards. Scorsese directed it. It was just amazing. Terrific movie. But I got to tell you, some of the scenes that he played, of course, in Goodfellas. What do you remember in Goodfellas? What, do I amuse you? I'm funny? Funny how? Remember that? And most of that was ad-libbed. He caught that from somebody else. As a matter of fact, the way that happened, he was in a bar one time, and I think he was a waiter, and he was talking to a mob guy, and he said something to the mob guy like, a joke, you were funny. And the guy didn't take it right. So he played that in his head, Pesci, and that's how he brought it to Goodfellas, talked to Scorsese about it, and they wrote it into the script. But that was brilliant. It's so believable the way he threw those lines around. Casino, so many captivating lines in Casino. Do you remember when the guy was gambling at the table and he had his feet up on the table and De Niro saw him and got the bouncers to throw him out? And he started mentioning names. And then later we find out that that guy was with Joe Pesci. Pesci was the mob guy. And Pesci is bawling him out, and he called him every name under the sun. Just the way he delivered those lines, to me, was amazing. Casino, when he sat with the banker that he said was kind of robbing his money, the way he delivered the lines to the banker. He says, you don't know me too well, but tomorrow morning I'm going to wake up, I'm going to come to the bank, I'm going to crack your skull open, I'll go back to jail, I don't care, doesn't matter. The way he delivered the line was great. But for me, one of the best scenes in Casino was when he was in the desert with Robert De Niro. And he was mad at De Niro because De Niro said something to the guys back east about him. And the lines that he delivered there were just terrific. And you know what? The dialogue is so authentic. And I know it couldn't have been in the original script. He ad-libs a lot of this, gets the okay from the director and puts it in. Just terrific. But the way he delivers the lines, amazing. A real departure was in The Irishman when he played Russell Bufalino, who I knew fairly well. And the way he played that character, the calm mob guy, was a total departure the way he played in Goodfellas and Raging Bull and Casino. Total departure from that, but he was brilliant in that movie also. So let me get to my favorite movie with Joe Pesci. This may surprise you, but he was, just from start to finish, you're glued to the screen watching him, and he was just brilliant. And that was My Cousin Vinny. Have you seen that movie? If you haven't, you got to look it up. I mean, I think it's on Netflix. If not, you'll find it someplace online. But just a brilliant movie from beginning to end. It was him, Marissa Tomei. She was terrific. I think she won an Academy Award, Best Supporting Actress. The two of them together had such chemistry. They were brilliant. My Cousin Vinny, line after line after line that he delivered. And he played an attorney that never really fought a case. He took the test like 6 times. I think he failed it 5 times, finally got it on the 6th time. And he comes down to Alabama from New York to defend his nephew and another guy that were accused of killing somebody in a market. And so he's the attorney, and he's about as out of place in Alabama as anybody can be. In his dress, in his speech, everything about him was out of place. Fred Gwynne was the judge in the case, and he and Pesci are battling out throughout the whole court sequence. It was just brilliant. But every line he delivered was so funny. When he first comes down and he's talking to Marissa Tomei about blending into the local environment in Alabama, just the way he delivered those lines was terrific. When he first goes into the jail to meet with his nephew and his co-defendant there, the way he delivered those lines, telling him who he was. The co-defendant thinks that he's an inmate trying to take advantage of him sexually in some way. But it was amazing the way he delivered that. So many of the court sequences were unbelievable. As the movie goes on, he starts to understand more about the case and really how to defend his nephew. He ends up winning the case. And the way he did it was brilliant. The script was brilliant, but you got to watch the movie because he was funny all the way through. One of the scenes really got me. He's sleeping, and I think he hears an owl at night. Something is sleeping in a bungalow. He hears an owl at night. He's in his underwear. He comes out with his gun, and he starts shooting everybody. And then after that's done, he walks with a certain walk back into the cottage wherever he was staying. Just so funny, everything that he did. Another scene that I loved, his girlfriend, Marissa Tomei, she plays pool with some guys in a pool hall, some Alabama guys. She beats them and she bets them for $200. Well, she wins and they stiff her for $200. So he says, hey, you know, you're not going to stiff my girl. She beats you, you're going to pay up. So they go to the bar and they see the guy, and he's a big guy. You know, Pesci, he's about 5'6", right? Small guy, but he's got a lot of heart. He says, hey, you owe my girlfriend $200. Where is it? I'll do one of the two things. Either you pay her the $200 or I'll kick your ass. You know, he says it like that. They're ready to fight. Pesci says to him, where's the $200? He says, well, I'll get it. So Pesci will get it, and then we'll fight. And then there's a couple of scenes with the guy trying to get the $200. Finally, he does get it, and he shows him like he's going to kick Pesci's butt. And Pesci runs up to him, boom, gives him one punch, knocks him out, grabs the $200, walks away. Beautiful scene, funny. Throughout the whole time, he is banging heads with Fred Gwynne, the judge, because he's really not qualified to be able to fight the case in Alabama. So he keeps making up stories about who he was so that he can stay in the case. He's going back and forth, and Fred Gwynne was great, obviously, also in the movie. He's terrific. Remember Fred Gwynne, Herman Munster? He was terrific in the movie. It's a great chemistry between the two of them as they go back and forth. You know, very, very funny. And then as the trial goes on, they're there for murder, very serious. These kids go down, they're going to hang, or they're going to get the gas chamber, or the electric chair, whatever it is over there. So it's a serious case. And as it develops, you see how he develops into a real attorney, and he gets them off eventually. But it was really great the way he did it. But like I said, every line that he delivers is brilliant. Every scene that he's in, your eyes are glued to him. When an actor can act like that, brilliant. And, you know, there are many of them, but he really stands out in these type of movies. So it was a great picture. In the end, like I said, he wins the case. He's trying to get out of town because he had made up a story to the judge and he doesn't want to get himself in trouble. And by the way, throughout the case, he gets held in contempt a couple of times, goes into jail, doesn't bother him. He says he gets a better night's sleep in jail than he does outside with all the noise that's going on in Alabama. So it's very funny. He gets along with the prosecutor really well. Everybody in the movie was terrific. That's my favorite movie with Joe Pesci, My Cousin Vinny. Now, you would think it might be some of the mob things that he depicted. You know what? It was brilliant. And I encourage you to watch it. You know, go on Netflix, wherever you might be able to find it, and watch it. My Cousin Vinny. Brilliant film. I know this was kind of a short review of it, but hey, you know what? You can't be long all the time. So that's it for today. What do we got coming up? A lot of good things. We got some good interviews that we're doing. Told you I wasn't going to do the Zoom thing, but have to because these people have been waiting. They've been contacting me. We want to deliver good product and content to you. So hopefully you're enjoying the interviews. I know you really enjoyed the Donnie Brasco, Joe Pistone interview, and a couple others that we're doing you're going to really enjoy. So that's it for today. How do I always leave you? Be safe, be healthy, God bless, and I will see you next time.